I am the Merlin, the sorcerer of the ages, the guardian of ancient secrets, and the voice of the old ways.
Do you think that the stones of Rome, with all their grandeur and might, could blind my sight? Do you believe that because I stand beneath foreign skies, far from the mist-covered hills of our sacred isle, that I am not attuned to the whispers of the wind, the songs of the earth, and the cries of the spirits?
Foolish! My eyes see beyond the limits of mortal men, beyond the walls of Rome, beyond the seas that separate us. Time and distance are mere trifles to me.
Let me show you just how far I can see, and you will understand the true extent of my power. Look around you and see the world as it truly is. But before we can talk of what is, we must first talk about what was. All things that are to occur have origins that birth them. Britain's fate has turned sharply over the past century. Constantine brought peace and knighthood to the land, but he was slain by the treachery of Vortigern. This led to Vortigern's rise and the Saxon threat, as the Saxons saw an opportunity to invade and conquer the land. Vortigern's tyranny sparked a rebellion, and Aurelius Ambrosius restored order, introducing feudalism and knightly warfare. Uthar's lust for all that was not his fractured the realm, leaving Britain in chaos and vulnerable to Saxon conquest. The Saxons have seen an opportunity to invade and conquer the land, and they have taken advantage of the situation. It is not just the Saxons who have their eyes on the fractured kingdom of Logres. There are many great warlords who would take advantage of this time of anarchy. Cerdic, the last living son of Vortigern Tyrannus, not of his first wife, but the Saxon Rowena. He is more Saxon invader than person of Britain, and for that the people of this land will reject him. He poses a great threat for Britain, should the Saxon warlords unite behind him. King Idres is as much an invader of Britain as the Saxons. He represents the worst in men, an opportunist who will claim at any cost. He is amongst those who would profess that might is right, and for that I would wish him a swift end, but for the growing concern that his son Prince Mark would be far worse. Nanteliod, the descendant of Vortigern the tyrant, and Vortimer the people's king? Of all the invaders of Logres, he is the most worthy. But most is not to say that he is right as a high king. The land will decide. It always does, for the land and the king are one. None should forget of Lot, a great North king from a line of great North kings. He is without fear, but for that of his deceitful wife Margals. With enough time, he will unite the North against Logres and settle a score that his people have been waiting generations to settle. But are those that still stand in place of a Logres king enough to hold the invaders at bay? It is uncertain. The Saxon invaders are powerful and numerous, and the Angles are also a threat. The land is vulnerable, and it needs a strong leader to defend it. If the land falls, the invaders will not stop until they have conquered all of Britain. Ulfius, the perfect duke, a dear friend to Uther. Despite his disdain for my presence, I can say that it was no fault of Ulfius's counsel that Uther let his nature consume him. I suspect he would run me through if he had the chance. Even so, he remains the barrier that Logres needs from the Saxons and Angles, who press their advance further west. Duke Corneas is one of the rudest and most stubborn of men I have ever met, and it is in these qualities that he defends Logres from the north so successfully. It was a blessing that he did not meet his end when Octa and Eosa sacked Lindsay. I will share a secret with you now. It is what I have seen. It is not in these warlords that the fate of Britain will be decided, but in the caliber of the next High King and the qualities of the knights who stand beside him. The knights of Britain must be strong and loyal, and the High King must be wise and just. If they should falter, so too will the land.
I am a nobody, a bastard, and I will make sure that I will create no bastard by my name.
Because I, for better or for worse, whether I like it or not, I am no longer a maiden. I am a knight, and I hold true to that.
You protected more than that. You stood by me when others might have let my mistakes be all I really was. You helped me. You saved me. And I'm sorry I couldn't repay that favor 10 times over.
I find it offensive that they do not consider my father the clear and rightful heir.
So you're new to New York. Well, let me give you a bit of wisdom, young one, since you're clearly in need of it. The nights here are long, and the shadows even longer. I've walked these streets since before your sire was even a thought. The city's ripe with opportunity. But don't be fooled. It's a tangled web of politics, alliances, and old feuds. The Gamarilla seeks to hold the reins, but not all will play their part as they should. Keep your wits about you. Speak little, and listen more. Survival. That's the first rule in these nights. The rest, you'll learn the hard way.
We are live. We're doing some open Pendragon, and we'll see if everything is working as designed very shortly. I'm testing my mic. It's been a minute. I don't think we ever actually showed this one in working order, but it should be fancier than our old open Pendragon one. Why don't we quickly meet our players for the day right now? We'll start with Trent.
Hello, I'm Trent, and I'm playing Sagaius. He's a little bit older and a little bit bolder, and a little bit missing the lord that he swore to.
You and a lot of other people these days.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go over to Mark next.
Hello, I am Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and today I will be playing Sir Rodri of Idmiston. A knight who is very far from home, and hoping to score some allies in the battle against the Saxons.
Indeed. And we'll go to Salty next. Is it Mr. Salty? What do you prefer to be called on stream, my friend?
Oh, Salty's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Salty if you're feeling formal.
Awesome. Welcome in. And tell us, who are you playing?
I am playing a newly knighted Sir Uthred.
Okay.
He is also quite a bit away from home. But
Indeed.
he thinks his fortunes will rise just shortly.
Okay. That is really optimistic of him, is what I'll say. Yeah. All right. Let me quickly adjust something so they can see the screen here, because they cannot see the actual VTT, and then we can get started. Shuffle the deck, go to the map, and then we shall begin. Okay. Just checking in for those listening in. Audio okay? We haven't really touched this one ever, so just want to make sure. I'm gonna assume no news is good news is what I'm gonna do.
I just turned up the stream volume. I could hear it relatively well.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the setup for this, and we'll use the map to do so. Obviously, the intro explained the overall situation, but for those who've never seen anything we do, this is Pendragon version 5.2 with a smattering of 6 and previous editions in there as well. This game will be set in Londinium. It's a shorter term campaign. Right now, you might notice this group up here called the Angles, and this group up here called the Essex, and this group called Kent, and this group called Sussex. That's what's known as the Saxon Shore, and all of those are, over the last 80 years, have settled in Britain. Some of them very new. Essex the last 10-15 years, Angles the last 5 years. They've pretty much done everything to push back the local indigenous, well, they're not indigenous, are they? The local Britons from this land who have claimed this land for generations and generations, forcing them further and further west. Without a king of Logris, the main kingdom of this land, after the death of King Uther, the land reels in a time of anarchy, and Londinium, one of the few remaining civitas of independence and sort of a beacon of hope, the former seat of King Uther Pendragon, remains free, or so it seems. But this year, things have changed a bit in that scenario. An army from Kent and an army from Essex marched out to lay siege to Londinium. Fortunately for those inside London, behind the walls that have never fallen, there is hope for an army led by Duke Ulfius has marched out to face these armies. The situation in London is not a great one when we think of like military strength. Most of what used to owe direct fealty to King Uther or to his son Madoc, it's kind of gone by the wayside in times of anarchy. Some of the greatest, like Sir Brastius, has formed his own mercenary unit and refuses to play the part of bending the knee to anyone until a rightful king is named. This kind of leaves London in a bit of a predicament. And what's more, two of the nearby counties, Heartland and Huntland, have recently fallen to the Angles in the last 2 years. For those that maybe are chiming in from a previous Open Pendragon episode, and you're like, hey, what happened to Sir Jaren and Lady Everard's castle in Heartland? It's fallen. It fell to the Angles 2 years ago. On top of that, those who remain resistant, there's kind of two key castles that are holding resistance right now. One is obviously London as a city proper. The other one is Uther's Shame, the seat of Sir Argan, the old royal constable. So for those who did serve Lady Everard, or Sir Jaren, you'd find yourself torn between making one of those two options. Maybe we'll zoom in a bit and ask each of these characters, since it is a game about knights, who is your fealty to, Sir Gaius?
Yeah, well, Sir Gaius was sworn to Lady Everard and Jaren, and has been fighting Miss Saxon for a little while, but he was sent on a diplomatic mission to get the support of various lords in the defense of Heartland, and while he was away, it fell. Thus, he is currently trying to figure out what to do. He's in London, contemplating his options, and very much stressing about his family, who he hopes are alive.
That's tough but fair. We'll go to Utherdred. Utherdred. Yeah, it'll take me a minute not to say Uther. Yeah. What about you? What do you remember from what we talked about in your session 0?
I remember that my home has fallen to invaders, and I was instructed to reach out to my knight's old acquaintance at Uther's Shame.
Yeah.
In which I was knighted.
Yeah. So you are here on behalf of there's something that we can't quite piece together. I'm wondering who might have knighted you. On your way to Uther's Shame, which is where you were instructed to go, you found it under siege and behind enemy lines, which would have led you to London. But I'm still thinking it's fair that you would have found someone here to knight you. Does that make sense to you? So,
Yes, sir.
We will say the man who knighted you, he'll be here tonight anyways. We will make it 1 sec.
Me, if you want.
No, I got it. So this is, his name is Caradoc. He's a big old lad. Not so much a lad anymore. He's like in his 60s. But he would have happily... He knew Galhut personally. So when Sir Galhut Lebron... Debron, rather, fell and you were ordered to flee, he would have happily brought you into the realm of knighthood. Knighting like this wasn't really a thing during the time of Uther and before it. It was always a very formal ceremony of fealty. But in these times, I think the Britons aim to bolster their forces as much as they can, with as many mercenary knights as they can. So welcome to the realm of mercenary knight, my friend.
Yay!
Yeah, former
Let's make
household
some
knight.
money.
Yeah. And then Rodri, as mentioned by Mark, you'll be coming in round 2 to interrupt this feast. So despite the chaos going on outside of London, think of like think of the French Revolution, like, you know, surely these walls won't fall. Like, that's kind of, regardless of how you guys feel about it, that is how the nobles are treating this. And with the sign of Ulfius outside and the small, like London, even though it's quite a massive city, it doesn't have that many battle-tested knights. And so they're opting to, why would we go out and face the army, right? It's kind of the idea, especially when there's 2 of them out there. Ulfius will make short work of them, for sure. You guys can move to try and change that, of course. But we'll kind of pick up there with... This will be a feast, sort of the first night that Ulfius' banners were seen clashing with the King of Essex. and we'll kind of start there. I'll bring us over to the right page. All right. So this is going to be an interrupted scenario. We won't worry about that too much. This is just to set a scene, but we will get some cards done, because why not? Why not allow a round of feast when possible? You aren't playing Pendragon with me unless there's feasts involved. We'll get Gaius and Uthadred, if you can drag out your tokens for me. Actually, Uthadred, you might not have a token yet, do you?
I do not believe so.
Let's fix that, shall we?
There we go. I don't know if that shield's accurate anymore. I suppose I'm still technically a Knight of Heartland, even if Heartland isn't there.
Indeedy. You are.
Mhm.
All right. And then I'll quickly put one together for our friend here. One sec. Things I try not to do when I'm running the actual Pendragon stream is do this stuff live. But that's what Open Pendragon's meant to be. Relaxed.
Yeah. We can wing it.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. And then I'm just going to add his token to the sheet. Oh. That
I should
is
probably
the...
update my token with your image if you can send it through one at some point. No rush. You can do it after the game or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. Everyone can see it. Everyone can see what you look like now anyways. So you're good. A sec here.
Man, in comparison to Sir Gaius and Sir Rodri, I look like a newborn babe.
Yep, it's true. Alright, we'll just go with the green one for now, even though I had a standard black one, but I can't find that, so... Accidentally put the Gathering of Branches one on there. Give me a sec. Why is that? Why that? Come on, one sec. Stupid thing. Oh, I guess that's probably right. Damn. All right. Uthadred, are you still wearing the shield of your former lord? I suppose it'd be a little faux pas to do, but if you had a real strong loyalty to him, you certainly could. I don't know if you're muted.
I was.
Okay.
I imagine I am not particularly courteous, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I probably am
Okay. So
wearing
I'm just
my old colors.
so I can represent that on here. It'll be a little kludgy, but it'll work. That's how I used to do it. So I got really tired of doing it that way. There we go. Okay, so let's go. I need to put your name on here. I'm going to keep forgetting. Uthadred. Okay, so for Uthadred and Gaius, I will take an Aperol real quick.
Do I have any treasure? I don't think I do. I don't remember Gaius being clad in jewelry, and I'm pretty sure he's modest. Oh, I've got a fine cloak and a toad armband. All right, so I have 5 jewelry. Nope.
And below the sill.
Hell yeah. I can be a menace down here without causing too many problems.
Indeed.
Just take the problems with you.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, to start, because you guys have had a little bit of time to obviously you both know who this guy is. It makes sense. So one of you was knighted by Sir Caradoc, the other of you served Jaren.
Right.
So
we fought alongside each other.
Yeah.
I think I did fight with him in a battle.
Yeah.
Yep. Explicitly, yeah.
I think you did. He's been before the whole Jaren thing. He was kind of a little bit more. He was one of the many knights that just wandered off and did his own thing. So,
yeah, fuck dudes up.
Okay, so I will. I'll give you both an intrigue test here.
Doki. Oh, that's right. I'm Roman.
I forgot about
cheat
that.
to win. There we go. That's a pass.
Hey, both up there in the intrigues. Okay. 11. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a rumor mill thing according to your threshold and then what you rolled. We'll start with Gaius. You can pick either of these two and know something about them. The two up towards the high seat.
Yeah, I see. Church guy or green and gold lady. Let me roll spiritual and see if I'm more interested in the church guy. I will. I'll roll versus worldly anyway, just to see. Yeah. Okay. Tell me about church guy, please.
Okay. It is Bishop Quintus. He is the Bishop of Londinium. He is effectively the de facto leader of London without any lords, because he himself is a baron.
Right.
It should say Quintus, not Quintos. So that's my bad.
Oh, cool.
All right, and then you can pick 3 people not above the salt and know a rumor about them. Just let me know who you want to pick. There'll be different rumors for different. There's more than one rumor per person, right? So feel free to just tell me who, and you can get one rumor from any of these 4 down here.
Everyone is fat in London. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go with this guy down here. With the white and blue and black. Yeah.
This guy?
He looks fascinating.
Yep.
He looks really upset about something.
Yeah. So they say that the blue dragons are kind of faux pas in heraldry right now because it's the sign of the Pendragon, right? Even other colors, typically it's mostly wielded as a show of strength. The rumor is that he served maybe Uther in Uther's line at one point.
Okay. So maybe he was like running the chauffeur in London.
Then you get 2 more.
Okay, give me Caradoc because I like that guy, and maybe the redhead because my girlfriend in real life is a redhead.
There you go.
Just showing off. Got a real girlfriend, no big deal.
Which of these 2 do you want, my friend?
The younger one, please.
Okay.
Maybe they're not younger. The one who looks like she's about to murder me. Top.
Yeah, that's fair. 1 sec. I'll start with Caradoc. Okay. Rumor has it that Caradoc had a falling out with Lady Everard. That's kind of what you're familiar with.
Oh,
Kind of
really?
left on his own accord, so yeah.
That's why he's not there.
Hmm.
Falling out with Everard. Okay.
And then this one. You recognize her as Lady Zelia is her name. She's still a maiden, age 19. Stays as a guest at the White Tower, which is the Tower of London. All right, and that's what you have.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll go to Utherdred next. You get to pick a rumor from one of the two above the salt.
I will pick the woman.
Okay. 1 sec. So she has a brutal name. I just gotta grab it.
Brutal to pronounce or brutal to hear?
It's just not my favorite name, but it's pretty hilarious. This is Lady Winflaith. Is her name?
Place.
Indeed. She has been around since the days of Uther. Kind of has a reputation as a conniving woman trying to get ahead in the conniving lady trying to get ahead in the
In a man's world.
and they say that she is the daughter of Sir Madabin the White. He was one of the old established court knights who served as the backbone for like proper behavior and decorum back before even the days of Uther.
Well, she's going to be disappointed in me. 'Cause I'm misbehaving.
That's fair. When you guys get them, I'll also put their names on here so you can see it.
Yeah, sweet.
All right. I guess I didn't do that for Azilia, did I? Okay. And then you get 2 rumors from below the salt, with the dread, or anywhere not above the salt, rather. So the remaining 4.
Okay. Naturally, Uthred would choose the ladies first. But seeing as Celia has already been taken, and I know Sir Kata, I will choose Sir Kardak. Maybe there's something I don't know about him.
Okay. That's fair. 1 sec. Okay, yep. He has a reputation, or at least he did in his youth. So I'll give you a little bit about him. He was injured during St. Albans, and so he's not at the infamous feast where King Uther was poisoned and his entire lordship was poisoned. So he's one of the survivors for that reason. He was actually Uther's 13th household knight. What he was known for, and you don't see as much of this on the man in his 60s, but when he was crossed, he was known to go into fits of rage over it. And he's also, one thing you're very aware of him is that he's extremely stubborn. Like once he's made up his mind, you're talking to a wall. Like he will not, yeah. And I'll give you.
So vengeful and stubborn.
He is proud 20.
Nice.
Hey, role model.
Oh, model.
Yeah. Okay, and then I think you had one more, right? That you haven't chosen.
Yeah, I was gonna choose the older.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think you heard from Galhut because you served under Sir Galhut. You kind of recognize her by name as Lady Diane. And there are rumors that she used to be one of Uther's many concubines back in the day. And Galhut had a thing for her, so that's why you heard about her. He used to go on at length about how beautiful she was, and he it was out of character for him too to do that sort of thing. Like normally he's very
Reserved.
yeah, and just not a feeler, put it that way. Yeah. All right, we will begin the feast. You got one round, then we're gonna have Rodri here interrupt. We will go near the salt first with Uthadrid.
I'll choose a card.
All right.
Hell yeah.
You may do so. Yeah, you should be able to drag it right now.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, risky.
All right. Since you chose Lady Diane, I would accept that as one of the options. Otherwise, we'll put a random. Obviously, this isn't just a 5-person feast. There's lots of knights and ladies here, so. Would you like it to be Lady Diane or someone else?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll bail in front of Lady Diane. It's fine.
Welcome to the one card pool. It's such a like you're living yeah you're living the danger life with the one cards.
I was like, and you can passion during feast or no? Just roll it. How do you want it?
You can choose to passion. It's only for the round. It's only for the action. Obviously, if you fail a 16 or beyond, that goes really poorly. Yeah.
Also, once it's used, you can't use it for the rest of the feast.
Rest of the feast. Yep, correct. Good call.
Okay. Well, it's only hospitality, and it's not famous, so it should be fine, right?
Well, there you go. Success.
Hey.
Get a +5.
And I fail.
I fail. -2 geniality. All right.
That's auspicious beginning.
Yeah. Is it mostly because you really don't have any stories yet of your own?
Yeah. Basically, my journey here.
Yeah.
An army
yeah.
brat is basically training
Yeah,
horses.
I'm from Lampor.
Yeah. I went through the Forest Sauvage. Oh, really? Did you
What happened?
encounter a giant beast? No. I rode on the trails through it, and then I ended up in London.
I guess the
Appreciate
Force had
that.
mercy on me and just kind of let me pass.
Yeah, either or. It's dismissed, and I think because she's got a bit of a reputation, I think it goes poorly. I won't punish you with a -2 geniality right now. It's very early days for you. We'll just give you the 0 for the round. So
Very
Check
generous of
merciful,
you.
bub.
yeah. All right, that brings us to actually, yeah, it would have been 0 anyways. Never mind.
Would have been.
I made it
nice.
sound like I was generous, but I'm
Oh,
actually.
no, you're right. It would have been exactly 0. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good. We can follow the rules. Perfect. All right.
Ah,
Because you would have got
I'm
one
gonna-
for near the soul and one for the card. All right, that brings us to Gaius.
Is 6,000 Glory 3 or 2? Or 4? Or 9?
I don't remember. It's 3, I think.
Let's go with
think-
3, I suppose. You can tell me I'm wrong later if you want.
Looks great.
Something is trying to happen. Inflamed passions, regular passions, or personal valet. Oh, fashion boy. I don't think Gaius needs a fashion boy. I've already played the fashion boy shtick with Goodyear. All right, no fashion boy. Prudent versus reckless. Talk at your table becomes quite heated. Reckless wins. I fight a guy. Or passion. Fellow guest says you lack passion. I mean, that'll definitely work. Inflamed passions? I don't know. I mean, passion is just better, because I'll definitely pass it. Inflamed passions is interesting because I imagine that there's a lot of pissed off people in London right now. Guys among them. So, no, we'll play passion. And I will roll... has any passion your choice? I mean, I could roll my highest passion, but let's go for something more fun. Let's roll one that could fail. Let's roll Loyalty Lord because he is currently in the absence of his lord. He passed. Alright, check that, and I... Yeah. Who comes up and harasses me, Bob? Angor.
Yeah, so there is a Sir Angor who's this younger Heartland knight that isn't very happy with the current situation in London. Doesn't like that they're not out there fighting for Ulfius right now, fighting with Ulfius. Especially because the battle's literally being waged like less than a kilometer away, less than like pretty close distance. You could probably at night you can probably see like fire and flame, and to like your whole table. But I think he just singles you out just out of almost like an obsession or like a madness. He's probably on the verge of madness. He just looks to you and he's like, I see you're just going to sit here and enjoy your pastries. Meanwhile, there's a fight out there. And he's like, I see it's because you have no passion. You don't love your lord like I do.
Lad. No, you keep your tongue in check, alright? We have to be patient here. We've been fighting the Saxons for a long time. I've been fighting them for a long time. And just because I'm not with my lord right now, does not mean that I don't think the world of Lady Everard, Sir Jaren. I'm doing my best to try to build support, try to find a way of getting us free so we can do what we must. Just because I'm not ranting and raving like some crazed youth about it, does not mean it doesn't keep me awake at night. So you enjoy your pastries and I'll enjoy mine.
And that just to check too. That's the success means you tick the passion. Yeah, I think whatever that is, he is probably a little bit being intimidated and a little bit of being embarrassed. Seeing the passion in you, he kind of backs off. Perfect. All right. I'm going to move to the next point because at that point you get your 2 geniality. If you no, just 1. You succeed, right? Still 1.
1 for the card, 1 for. Oh, it's just 1. Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. Yep. There's no
Okay.
for success.
We're gonna do the next bit, and I'm gonna step away for like a minute while this happens. But we're gonna have Rodri come in, usually between rounds in Feast. Anyways, I usually have like the players get together just to let them actually role play with each other, because the Feast system's kind of more interacting with the game itself versus all the players being together. Why don't we have Rodri enter, and it's kind of Gaius and Uhtred take interest in him? Is that a fair thing to do? Everyone good with that?
Make an Admiral Rodri.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to step away for a sec. You guys can kind of narrate this as players. Just do your best. I'm pretty comfortable with the outcome, As long as I don't return in here, someone's like king, we're good to go. Plus, I can hear it while I'm walking away. I'll be right back.
All right.
That must happen a lot. He walks away, and then everyone is proclaiming
Oh,
themselves.
you'd be surprised.
Yes.
Anyway, it is at this moment the doors to the feast burst open. Stepping inside is the chainmail-clad figure of a blonde-haired man.
I think Gaius is going to keep chewing on his pastries, but he's definitely carefully watching the new entrant. I think he.
Sir Uhtred would bring a goblet and wine and pour you a drink. Sir, may I offer you a drink?
Looking around for a moment before it looks to you and goes, it would be appreciated, Sir Knight.
He pours you a goblet and hands it to you.
He takes it and he downs it.
It's like, I welcome you, though it may not be my place to do so. I am Sir Uhtred.
A pleasure,
What
Sir Uhtred. I am Sir Rodri of Idmiston. I come here with a call to war by the Duke of the Vale himself.
I'll take a quick, maybe awareness roll from Gaius and Uhtred.
Us.
I think, guys, you notice that Rodri, despite his best effort to dry off, is a little soaked. You imagine gaining access to London at this time by any other means than the waterway is probably very unlikely. So you can only imagine how they managed to find their way in.
Yes, whilst under siege.
Oh, wow.
Sir Rodri. I've met him before, haven't I?
That I don't know.
That I'm not sure. It might require a recognize roll.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Again, Rodri's not particularly famous.
Yeah, fair
He's
enough.
got 3,000 glory.
Oh yeah, cool. Did he?
Were you guys in Open Pendragon together ever? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
know
don't
it was
think
with
so.
Rothgar, but-
I don't think Rodri showed up in Open Pendragon.
Yeah,
Okay,
me
maybe he
either.
doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things so bad that you had to swim into London.
Well, I couldn't exactly cross through the gates now, could I?
And you're on. You're a brave man indeed.
Perhaps it's better to say desperate. Nonetheless, I need to speak to the lord of the city.
Well, best of luck, sir.
Gaius would just direct you to Quintus, I suppose.
I think as you do, I think Rotary would actively look around, kind of shocked as he goes. Is this a feast?
Why was I not invited? Yeah.
They are throwing a feast while the city is under siege.
It's a different type of rationing.
I would not call this rationing. As he looks down to the copious amounts of food upon the table.
I am not one to question the Lord's decisions. But perhaps the pastries would be best served to the men.
I suppose it's no matter.
At least try one, Sir Rodri, before you lose your temper. They are quite good.
Leave him be, boy. He has to speak to the Lord.
I've just spent the last day and a half marching and fighting. I'm in no mood to eat.
I'll just save you one for later.
That Roderick just shakes his head and begins to walk off, making his way towards the high table.
All right, Rodri, let's start with an app roll. Let's see where you get stuck. Let's see if you can even find your way out. This will determine whether you get blocked. Like, where you... Okay, no. Near the salt. So all you need to do to get there... And we'll carry on with a round 2, entertainingly. But when it's your turn, all you need to do is that typical intrigue roll to get to above the salt. So, but we'll start with Uthred.
I will choose...
Cut.
I do. I know how that's for. Yeah, I'm a young knight. Let's do that. Cards it is.
King of the Bean.
King of the Bean. Keep dancing.
Nice.
Okay. Interesting.
Right?
Interesting that you happen to place that card directly on top of Lady Zelia.
Hey, look. I'm just having a good time. Everything's burning down around me, and I'm all laughs and smiles.
Yeah. Hey, what's a failure?
You'll get it right. You may keep this card until the next round and play it again.
Now you're stuck trying to impress this thing. That's great. On the bright side, you get 2 geniality just for the card and being there. So just hold on to that card. You can kind of move it down into the section there, but don't lose track of it.
You put it next to the discard pile.
Sure not. We'll say it's Lady Zelia. Why not?
Get
All right. That brings us to Rodri. It is your go, sir.
He is going to intrigue his way. I think it's part like making his way through the crowd and, trying to get past people. And also just like the pure don't get in my fucking way kind of walk. He's got places to go.
Okay, understood.
That's a failure!
So close.
Yeah, maybe that walk is seen as a bit of a threat, and one of the bishop's knights kind of steps forward to block you. Well, if this person's really lame, we'll grab 2 of them. The fairy lore, Sir Kendall. I'm just curious to see where this person's from. former knight of Huntland. He's not especially big, but he has that look on his face like he's like not only killed people but maybe eaten them at some point in his life. You know? Yeah. And he just looks at you. You know, he's probably like 45, something like that. He says, "The bishop's busy, Sir Knight. Please enjoy the feast."
No, Rogers, I don't have time to wait for the bishop to be ready. I come with a message from the Duke of the Vale himself. I need to see the Lord of the city immediately.
And he's gonna do that thing where like you're trying to like push past the bouncer, and he's gonna just double up on being the bouncer in that moment. So he's like blocking Rodri's path, just preventing him from moving forward. At that point, a couple more guards come, and they see you more as a problem rather than a messenger. And because you don't have any, well, we'll say for the sake of the story and the fact that intrigue failed, we'll say that having to go into the water, not only did you have to lose your charger, or you probably didn't ride your charger, you're around sea, you probably like lost the emblem, like
right,
yeah, like
so that I'm a messenger of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you've got +1 for being near the salt, and
I think ultimately Rodri realizes he's not going to fight his way through, so he just says, "Fine, I'll wait."
Yeah.
He starts off.
All right, that brings us to Gaius.
I'm gonna roll to check some stuff. Okay, I think Gaius is gonna be sitting there thoughtfully chewing on his pastry, and he watches this whole scene go down. Can I roll intrigue to try and get Rodri through?
Yeah, you want to go up and see if you can make nice to the situation. What's your angle with this before you do so? Because I think there'll be any sort of intimidation will not work now that that's already attempted. So it has to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's more diplomatic. I think maybe because the knight that you said is a former knight of Heartland, maybe Gaius knows him, and he's tries to soften the guy's demeanor a little bit and lets him know that the Duke of the Vale is calling for aid in the war. We have able knights sitting here, and perhaps it is best to mobilize them before they get too drunk.
Okay.
Come, Sir Knight. Be reasonable.
I'll say this. Though. You are below the salt, so I think you have to do this without the geniality. Like, you can't use your geniality as a bonus because you have to go up one level, and then you're trying to help him through the second level, Yeah. So.
Try to give me a -5 because I still can't fail.
No, that's fine. Yeah, if you're...
Success.
Okay. Do you wanna play this point out at all? What do you want to do here?
I don't mind. Yeah, if you want to up here, I'm happy to. But otherwise, it's probably fairly practical.
Okay. It's Hugo Weaving. So guys,
Hugo Weaving.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. What good is a phone call if you are unable to speak?
Okay. Yeah, so nevertheless, he nods to Gaius, and he gives, Rodri like that eye, like, I'm still watching you, but he'll stand aside. So you can go to speak to the bishop.
Yeah. In that case, Rodri will walk through for his next action to be to speak to the bishop.
Okay. All right. You find the bishop. He's sitting with a modest amount of food in front of him. He is Roman Christian.
As am I.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'd recognize him then, or do I still need to do a recognize roll to figure out who he is?
Oh wait, sorry. I guess we still gotta wait for your round, so we'll just do that like real quick.
Yeah.
But you know what we'll do is we'll move to round 3, but we'll put you first, and then we'll put Uthadrid second, and then that will make it narratively entertaining.
You.
Just gonna slide him over here. There we go. All right. So you managed to find your way up. He stops eating and sends to look to you. Or he's seated still, so well seated looks to you, nods.
Bishop, I come to you with a request from the Duke of the Vale himself, Duke Orpheus.
He looks surprised. I heard nothing of a messenger. How did you get through?
I suppose I am the messenger. I managed to, find a way in, but it was not easy. And I would not do so if it was not strictly necessary.
What
We're running
news
out
do
of
you
time,
have
Bishop.
from the Duke?
We have recently discovered that during our battle, during the morn, there were some Saxon raiders that managed to sail down the river. At this moment as we speak, they are marching their way towards the armies of the Vale and of Salisbury and those that are here to defend this city. We need additional forces. We need whatever this city can provide if we're to fight off a two-force attack.
No. London has very little to spare if we are to keep the walls. But if this is a request from the Duke himself, he eyes you suspiciously and he says, "What proof do you have of such?"
I've long since served as a knight of Salisbury, of Duke Robert. Not Duke Robert, Earl Robert, he would say. Of Salisbury and of... Oh shit, what's the name of the Vale? It's got a name.
Silchester?
Silchester, yeah. Of Salisbury and Silchester are the strongest of allies in times such as these. I only have my word to offer, as the marking I had is not with me at the moment.
Okay, one sec.
But this is our chance, Bishop. The chance to rid the Saxons, to push them away, so that the siege of the city will no longer continue.
I'm not prepared to march any sort of army out of here, and as you know, the Royal Navy is in shambles. What I can do, of course, is offer you the support of one convoy, perhaps two, enough to assist the Duke with any sort of harrying that might be happening from these raiders, you said?
Yes.
Indeed, if there are raiders, we must address them. If they are behind the Duke, then perhaps we can send some knights out into... It would be difficult to send them. Sorry, go ahead.
The main battle shall happen at sunrise. Until then, we should be prepared.
We will not
Once
be
the sun
opening these
rises.
gates, Sir Rodri. The walls are
There's
only as
only
good
one
as the
way.
gate itself.
There is only one way to break this siege, Bishop, and it is a combined effort of all of those who still hold this land, this city, as the shining jewel of our people. I ask that you reconsider. But I will take the convoy if it is what you are offering.
I'll offer you a convoy of London's knights and any volunteers that are willing to go. I'm not in charge of the knights, only the walls. And the walls I'm sworn to hold. It means that we cannot open these gates. All of Britain depends on it.
Very well. Thank you, Bishop. And he would kind of bow and go. I believe it's Your Grace is the term for Bishop, but I don't remember. It might be
Oh, he's a baron.
Your Eminence?
So, yeah.
Oh, he's a baron? Okay.
Yeah, he's a bishop, but he's a baron as well. Yeah. So,
In that case,
Bishop
he can
Baron.
have him go. Your Lordship.
All right. That will bring us... test your intrigue as well.
Yeah. Class.
Okay. That'll bring us to Sir Uthadrid. Are you eating the -2 geniality penalty to do something else, or do you want to continue trying to dance with this eligible lady?
I think he's just going to try to get this dance down.
Okay.
So typical, like a really young man
Yeah.
just all of a sudden getting obsessed with this thing that he has to do to impress a woman,
Yeah.
despite everything else.
Is it? Nope.
All right. Well, good news. That should have been. Is your dance score a base 6? It would have been an 8, but still wouldn't have been good enough.
Yeah, it's a base. It's a base.
Right.
It's a
Well,
base 6.
We'll give you another. Yeah. Despite your best efforts, it doesn't seem to really. It seems when it moves beyond her, gaze meeting yours, she either she's toying with you or you're not doing a good enough job yet. You got to pick up on your dancing moves. So.
Being
Yeah,
an
he's
actual
just like
bird.
he's like I'm probably not drunk enough. I should probably drink a little bit more.
You missed that opportunity, friend. All right.
So good. Just like absolutely peacocking in front of this woman. All right. Give me cards. I can't believe I sacrificed an opportunity to do cards to help you, Rodri. You should develop a loyalty, guys.
Facts.
Is that a host card?
Nope.
No. What's the Grail mean?
No, it's a. Which one? Where are you looking?
A lady in you.
Oh, yeah, that is a Grail card. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I interact with a lady. At the start of each round, I can keep it. Can draw cards. And I can petition the host to court the lady. Ah, well, wife's dead. Never mind.
Wait, what did... Well, you can't do that if you're not an eligible... Or like, you can, but that court... The petition part doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to petition her, no.
Yeah.
But I can still hang out with the lady. So, judging by the shields, I'm guessing Zilia is Diane's daughter. And thus, perhaps, Uther's daughter.
I think we've established she's busy. She's dancing, so it will not
Yeah,
be her.
yeah, that would be pretty funny. She just ignores him and comes hang out with guys.
Yeah.
Good dancing, bud.
That's not.
Yeah,
Hey
it
man,
could be.
I'm doing what I can.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're below the salt, I'm gonna say it's Diane, who's like near the salt.
cool.
So
that's right. We're probably closer to age.
she's like, she comes up and she's like, "What did Sir Knight? What did that angry-looking knight up there want with the bishop?"
Should I roll intrigue to see if
You see Rodri like pointing out the like, like you can picture based on what he talked to with you, you can picture him basically like, pointing to the wall in frustration and being like, "We need to." Yeah.
Well, is it not obvious, lady? His rather frustrated thrusting of his finger there should tell you all you need to know. He has come from the war beyond the wall.
Interesting. Do you know what he had to say?
Not precisely, but one imagines, my lady, that he is come to beg aid. The battle rages not far, and here we sit eating pastries and what's this other thing? Capons. I think they're French, which doesn't even exist yet. So, I imagine he summons aid. We can only pray that the bishop does what is best for London, best for Britain.
If the aid involves marching an army outside of these walls, you can bet that the bishop will not.
I figured as much, but I am not the bishop's man. Perhaps I could make myself useful somewhere other than here. What of you, lady? What think you of these matters?
I think it's dangerous to be in London right now.
Indeed. Perhaps if one were to ride to battle, one may escape. Locked in these walls, if the battle turns south, you are the mercy of the Saxons. Do I hear a request in your words, lady?
If there is any approval of sending men beyond the walls, I would ask that my daughter and I be escorted. Not to do whatever the men and the soldiers do, but to the nearest place away from these Saxons. Perhaps in Berwick.
Guys will think. He'll slide her a rude glass of wine from below the salt over to her while he considers. Very well. I will do this for you. I will see you to safety. I know not if Berwick is safe. It is communication has failed. But I'll put you safe. You and your daughter both. I may need some assistance. I will see what I can rummage up.
Okay. That will bring us to the end of the feast. I want to check in on Rodri. What are your plans from here, Rodri?
I think Rodri is probably planning just to leave the feast in a huff. He's not very happy with how things went down.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably do some exploring of the city while he waits for the bishop to get back to him with the group of men he can use.
Okay. let's assume that this is like evening time, and we'll do. I'll accept intrigue or half battle score from each of you.
Yes.
Intrigue or half battle? I mean, I kind of want to roll half battle just to see if we get something different. Let's go. I'm going to roll half battle, which is going to
Makes sense. Uthadred's still dancing when this first starts.
Yeah, he's like dancing down the street trying to. He's like, no, that's not right.
I'll figure this out.
It's left leg forward then.
And twist.
Cool. I passed half battle.
All right. So for the intrigue from Rodri, you hear from rumors, people saying that men on the wall spied and heard clashing. So there's some kind of nighttime piece. I think Rodri left before Virgil's sortie was announced, right? So he's not even aware that Virgil and Edric left. So the news that there's any sort of fighting at night is a surprise to you, and you hear that there might be. For Gaius, you hear from some of the soldiers in London that several Saxon ships are seen sailing down the river, heading west.
Oh shit!
Which would put Ulfius in a pincer.
Yep. I will get Rodri's attention before he leaves.
He's gone, so I think you hear this, like, this is in the hour or two after the, like the feast goes on through the evening, so you'd have to try and track him down in London.
Right, yep, that's fine. But he wouldn't be in London, he'll be going back to the battle, wouldn't he?
I don't know if Rodri would go back to the battle solo. He's still waiting for knights to be called.
No.
Yeah,
So.
okay, cool. Well, I'm taking some women, apparently. Yeah, so that will probably solve that. I'll speak to Uthadred, since he was there, and maybe a couple of other knights as well, if anyone wants to come and escort these ladies to safety, rather than going to a battle for some reason. But I think it is important that we figure this out. So I think that he would try to find Rodri, but he doesn't want to get stuck behind. Doesn't want to get.
I'll give you a half. Since you had to have battle, I'll give you some info. So technically, if you were to take a page out of the Saxons book that they just did now, you could effectively sail down river to Barrack and still be in a position to maybe help Ulfius from flanking their flank.
Yeah, double flank.
Yeah, so you could help them if you could manage to get support of enough ships, which wouldn't take much, right? Like for a couple of convoy. The biggest challenge you'd have, of course, is your cavalry.
Putting horses on ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could always ride along the riverside. But yeah, the river might be like the safest route at this point.
Yeah.
Considering you're surrounded.
Let's roll reckless versus prudent. Prudent first. This will be to ride. Yeah, so I think we're going to ride, not sail. Okay. Yeah, we'll ride because at least then we have our horses, and that's important. We'll ride that way, and I'll see if I can, let anybody who is going to Ulfius' army know that there is a.
You'll just to point out, because I'm not going to call that prudent versus reckless, because you're going to have to figure out how to get out of. You can't just ride through a gate. You're going to have to ford a river with your horse.
With horses.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's slightly more complicated.
It's not as simple as opening the gate and riding out of London. There's no gate opening in London.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The only passageway in and out of London right now is the waterway, and it's heavily guarded because Saxon threat. So
yeah. Okay, well, I mean, there was a Royal Navy, and they are in shambles, which means they're probably not doing anything, which means there are probably boats around that have the capacity to get horses onto them. So I'm going to try and find one of those boats.
There are also traders and such, right? So
yeah. Okay. Let's start with that. Let's see if we can get horses onto boats.
Okay.
And to answer your question, you had me at ladies.
Sounds good. How much geniality did you have? Sorry, Rodri, you had 3, was it?
Yeah.
You had 3, and Uhtred had 2, right?
3. I had 3.
You had 3 as well. Oh, yeah, because you got the extra one. Cool. Sorted.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a group that's trying to get out of here via the riverboat, and then we have Rodri who's also trying to figure out a formal way to get men out of here without the gate opening, right?
Yeah.
I think that these paths are going to cross, and we can kind of breeze over that a little bit. I will take a courtesy roll from everyone just to see your own participation in trying to get out of here and get things sorted appropriately.
Should be great.
Roman OP.
Okay. I think Rodri, you end up finding out that this Sir Gaius that helped you get to the bishop also is kind of helping to figure out a path onto boats. Now, this will be a desperate measure. For the most part, I think that you are having to ride with about 2 convoy max with this boat plan. But that at least leaves you with a force that you can harry and raid with, right? So you can counteract potentially any threat that sailed downriver. Is that the intention at this point?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And then I will give Rodri a recognize roll.
Here we go.
Okay. When you're kind of like, you get to the point of everyone being loaded and the ships have already set sail and you're starting to go down the Thames River, when you see like all the horses are chargers, you see 2 Rouncy. And as you kind of go to like inspect it a little bit, it's at that point that Caradoc will absolutely come with you. It's at that point that that you spy 2 smaller looking riders approaching a little closer. You see their ladies trying to disguise themselves, doing a fairly good job till your eye caught note of them.
Mm.
They're not dressed in armor. Or they are, but not chain or anything like that.
Yeah.
They have leathers
I think if
on.
he can see them, he assumed they can see him, and he would gesture for them. Basically showing that he sees them and gesture them over.
They kind of, I think they're gonna, like, they're probably not terribly far from Gaius, so you see them kind of approach Gaius at that point. And we'll end there. I think it's a good point to pick up for the next time, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
So we are moving through, but that's because we got off to a really late start, and we're only gonna have 2 a month to play through, so we have to get through this scenario by next time. But hope you guys had fun. We'll pick this up again next time. If you're watching this is Open Pendragon, so we do drop in if you're interested. We try to leave the slots open, especially to new people that have never played the game before. Come join us. We can get you a random night ready to go for the fight next time if you'd like to be here.
Yes, come dance with me.
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys. Good stuff. We'll see you next time.